Island Viper here, bringing you Wave 12 of G.I. Joe Classified series. The G.I. Joe line is dying. It's dead. It's already dead, just like we all want. Hasbro bringing the repaints. Look at this. It's a red bat. Another repaint. Useless. Barbecue. Another repaint. Falcon, the worst figure in the line. CoverGirl, well, she sucks because she's G.I. Joe. Outback, another repaint. No! Hasbro doesn't know what they're doing. G.I. Joe is a deadline. Dead, 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 I tell you. Subscribe to the Island Viper to hear more doom and gloom. Want to hear about layoffs? Let's say that they're firing everybody.
This guy's totally ridiculous. I don't normally get into the whole mocking other channels thing, but Viper Island is probably... Oh man, he's right up there with a couple of other guys that do nothing but talk shit about the line that we collect, and makes clickbait videos and steals other people's content. That is Viper Island, and I don't really give a shit if he says something about me or not. I don't care. There's really nothing I can think of this guy could say to damage me in any way, because he's basically just made himself into an internet meme. And for those who don't know, he flat out stole the footage of an interview, stole the interview that another channel worked really hard to get with the G.I. Joe team, posted it, claimed it as his own, and immediately jumped to fair use, blah, 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 whenever he was called out on it. And A Toy Kinda Mood is the channel he stole that from. And they had actually, in person, went to SDCC and got an interview with Lenny and Emily and the crew. And there he was to scoop it up and claim it as his own. A lot of people talk about tons of views. I say a lot of people, but it's mostly just some people I see posting on Facebook. Talking about... large numbers of subscribers and views. All of that stuff is easy to get. It's super easy. You can pay for it. You can pay for services to build up a YouTube channel with comments, likes, subscriptions, views, and of course you get ad revenue off of all of that. You're paying basically for the service up front. I refuse to do it. I haven't done it with any of my channels, and this is the second monetized channel that I work on. Not something I'm going to do. I'm not saying that's what Viper Island did, but it's kind of funny that he pops into the scene unknown and just all of a sudden has tons of subscribers and views and interactions. Supposedly he did it with another channel, like a baseball or sports channel or something. It's a pretty popular practice among different industries. Bands do it, brands do it, bands and brands. It's just a way to make an investment, and if it pays off, that's awesome for them. But that's not something I've ever been interested in. That's like the whole Facebook post thing. Like whenever my band would post music or something on our Facebook page, Facebook got to a point where they wanted you to pay for advertisement. They wanted you to pay to boost a post just so that the people who followed your page would even be able to see it. Otherwise, you would not get the views, you would not get the interaction, even with people who had already liked and followed your page. We experienced that with my own band, posting content and getting little to no interaction with people unless we paid a fee to Facebook to boost that post. There's several other, any other industry pretty much is able to pay for advertising. And that's pretty much all you're paying for is advertising and engagement with other people. But the whole bot thing, paying for bots, it's just, I don't see it as being that profitable. Of course, if you pay for it to get to a certain point and then you're not paying for it anymore, you're still going to retain those bots, those subscriptions, those views, and over time you're going to build ad revenue. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that there are some YouTube creators out there that do nothing but doom and gloom and sow discord. And it seems to be the only thing they're interested in doing is just sowing discord among collectors and making clickbait. And that's not what this video is supposed to be for. This video is not clickbait. I do have Wave 12 of the GiJoe Classified series. And yeah, let's see. 3 out of the 5 figures are repaints, but they're all repaints that we expected. No company, I don't give a shit if it's Mattel, Hasbro, or an indie company, they're gonna use molds as much as they possibly can. Action Force does it. Let's see, who else do I have stuff from around here that does it? Marvel Legends, Jesus Christ. Marvel Legends, just they thrive off of repaints and maybe throw in a different head sculpt or something on it, and it'll be the same buck. I mean, Marvel Legends, look at all of the Spider-Man figures that they have. Everybody does it. It's widely known, it's widely accepted in the community of these toys. Masters of the Universe, even back in the 80s, you know, those guys were like the king of repaints and mold reuse. Like damn near every figure that came out in that line for a while used the same arms, legs, and sometimes torso. Throw a different head on it and make it a different figure. I mean, that's just how the practice went and how the practice goes. Companies that make toys repaint the molds repeatedly until they can't sell anymore from that line. Like the Battle Android Trooper. This is a badass bat, by the way. The Inferno bat, the red bat, the Crimson bat. Yeah, that's what they're calling this one, the Crimson bat. Matched up with the Crimson Guard motif. I don't care. I'm going to buy some of these. I like them. I like bats. Look on the wall back here behind me. I've got a freaking ton of different bats. Originals, Black Major, whatever. I like bats. And this is I think this is the 3rd color variation that we've got of the Battle Android Trooper. Man, I'm going to say these boxes. I like the artwork. I like the fact that we have nice artwork on the boxes. This one, for some reason, is bulging out the back here. I don't know what that is. Guess we'll find out when we open it. Falcon, the digital render on the back actually looks pretty cool. I know that we've seen some different postings of how terrible the head sculpt looks on this figure. Man, I love this. Check this out. I love when they do the matte and the gloss finish on the cover of the box. I think that it really just sets everything off. Other companies have been doing that too. Motu Origins has been doing it, and I think it looks great. Same thing here with Outback, and this is the original color scheme for Outback. Actually, yeah, the whole figure is gloss while the background is matte. Looks good to me. This box actually got crushed here on the corner. That's unfortunate, but I mean, I'm going to open these guys up and put them in clamshell cases anyway. So it's not really a big deal. What I want more of, aside from being a Tiger Force fan because of all the Tiger Force and Python Patrol that I had when I was a kid, I had the Slaughter's Marauders set. And I loved those figures. I still have my original set of figures, all 100% complete, undamaged, except for Sergeant Slaughter's baton. I don't have the original Slaughter baton that goes with the Marauders set. I'll find one eventually. But if they continue with this color scheme, I hope they do. They have the Slaughter figure. They could do an entire line of Mad Marauders. I hate the fact that they're calling them Mad Marauders, but I understand the licensing costs and all that shit. But Slaughter's Marauders, bring it on. I will buy every single one of them, probably multiples. The artwork on this box doesn't look that great. It's kind of grainy for some reason. But let's see. We looked at Falcon, the Bat, and CoverGirl. We got a CoverGirl. She looks all right. I like the look of her in the artwork a whole lot more than I like the face sculpt of the figure, which is something else that I want to talk about. Hasbro has... They are going through mass layoffs. And some believe that it's just Hasbro being greedy. It's just Hasbro doing this. It's not. This is happening in numerous industries across the market. It's happening in tech industries. It's happening in the toy industry. It's pretty much every industry. We went through a couple years where companies were having record profits, especially in the collectible toy market. And that's because people were stuck at home and they were getting quote unquote extra money. I don't believe there's any such thing as extra money, but that's probably the easiest way to explain it. Getting those COVID checks, those COVID stimulus checks. And they were sitting at home and they were just buying shit to make them happy, to get a little dopamine hit and feel better about not getting to do much else. I mean, we were stuck in a time where anything, any type of social gathering or event just was not happening. Concerts were done for. Restaurants, going inside and sitting down to eat at a restaurant. In a lot of places, that just wasn't a thing. And people spent a mad amount of money on collectibles and just hobbies in general. All kinds of stuff. So we come out of that and they see their profit margins drop. They see their sales revenue drop. Well, now they're trying to compensate for that and get back up to those numbers. Personally, I don't think they're going to be able to. I don't think they're going to make it back up to COVID era numbers in profit margins. They're going to have to do some amazing things to make that happen. But in the corporate world, they are cutting overtime, cutting unneeded positions, cheapening the product, and doing everything they possibly can to find money. They're trying to find money. You've got Hasbro that I think they cut 15% of their workforce worldwide. We saw Corey, the guy who was over sculpting for the GI Joe line. We saw him get laid off. The design team, I don't know who else has gotten laid off. I know it's not just one person, but there's got to be a ton of other people that we're going to not see in the public eye anymore from Hasbro. Something has changed. Something is different with the face sculpts. Something is different with the paint schemes. This wave literally having 3 out of 5 being repaints. That says something about the line. And no, I am not in any way, shape, or form saying the line is dead. I don't think the line's going to die for a very long time because it's still profitable. People are still buying them, so they're going to keep making them. The line's not dead, but our paint apps and our sculpts and themes for these figures, it's just different. You can tell there's a little something different about this wave versus the waves that we saw before this. Wave 12, we've got 12 waves plus a bunch of exclusives. This line's killing it. I mean, they really are. You know, it seems like people will take one figure that's not great and just focus on how terrible it is and how this is the end of the line because one figure, it doesn't have a great head sculpt. Come the fuck on. You've got a ton of other figures. The numbers on these go up to 64. So in wave 12, you have 59, 60. No, you have 58, 59, 60, and then you have 63 and 64. So the numbers missing out of this are 61 and 62. That's a ton of 6-inch figures. I didn't think this line would last past the first year. I really didn't. But now we've got that many figures in this line. It's awesome. I don't see how anybody could say that it's failing. I don't see how anybody could say that it's dying. Now, on the other hand, the O-ring line. The O-ring line, I think, is dying. I don't believe... We haven't seen anything new since back before the HasLab, really. No 2-packs for the O-ring line. We had the Stinger, and it's just not getting stuff out there. They're not putting out anything for the O-ring line. I wish they would because they're cool. I like them. I like most things G.I. Joe. And I said most. There's some stuff that I don't really care for, like the little tiny stuff, the little tiny statue figures that don't go with the, or that go with like the little die-cast vehicles. I don't get into statues and stuff like that. But most things G.I. Joe I do enjoy. But the O-ring line, there's just not the support for the O-ring line that they may have thought there would be. It seems as though most of the people who wanted O-ring figures either complained about pricing or they're just not buying them. They don't like them. They talk about how generic they are, or they just don't look like 1983. And that's the biggest complaint that I see from people. It's just not in the 1980s. Or at least that's what their complaints come down to. I wish that the O-ring line had the support that the classified line does. We'd have a ton more O-ring figures. Super 7, they're doing something completely different. Like it or not, they've released a ton of figures, and I don't see any end in sight to that. The Ultimates Sunbow figures are coming, and those figures, if they're anything like the SDCC exclusive bat that they released, that's going to be an awesome line. They're 7-inch, fully articulated figures that look like the Sunbow cartoon. And the Sunbow cartoon is what I want. That's what I grew up with. That's what I love. Don't get me wrong. The classified line's great. But some Sunbow looking stuff would be really, really cool. It would also be cool if they would throw in some of these awesome modern looking modern figures as well. Give us a wave of zombie figures. Give us a wave of the zombie figures that came out around the 30th anniversary set. Let's have Eco Warriors fight zombies. I would totally be down for that. Or some of the Valor versus Venom figures. We had a lot of really cool ones come out in that line too. Like another Battle Android Trooper. Yeah, we had a bunch of different variations of bats and alley vipers and all kinds of cool stuff in that line. Make some of those into classified figures. But anyway, this is just, I just wanted to make this video as just kind of a teaser for the videos. Yeah, I'm going to do individual videos for the 5 Wave 12 figures, and to just voice my my disgust, not really disgust, but just voice my dislike for the way some channels want to try and shit talk everything. It's never anything good. It's always negativity. They never look at anything positive at all. And it seems like that's what gets the clicks from some people. It's just all the negativity and hate for something that we're supposed to collect, something that we all claim to love. I think somebody had called out Viper Island like Show us your collection, dude. You talk about what a big G.I. Joe fan you are. Show us your collection. He's like, I don't have to prove anything to you. It's because I don't think this guy collects shit. I think that he's a sports fan. He might buy a couple things for his kid here and there, which brings me to another point. There's no way in hell that I would bring my kid onto my toy channel, or any other channel for that matter, to get attention. And that's all that he's doing. He's just using his kid to get attention. And I think it's pretty low to do that. It's pretty low class. But anyway, engage, comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Check the description for links to things, Facebook groups and whatnot. You can contact me on Facebook. Hit me up there. I sell stuff all the time. If that is of any interest to you, I sell all kinds of things, actually. I sell action figures and whatever else is profitable. Anyway, I'll see you all soon with these individual videos for Wave 12. Yo, Joe.